On the Road with Kelli and Bob is brought to you by Mueller Metal Roofs and Buildings. Made in America, made to last. Coming up on this episode.
When you're running a family business and a small business, it's great to have that detail and that personal touch.
Hi, we're Kelli
and Bob Phillips, and we're on the perpetual road trip of America's back roads,
where the journey is always the destination. Hi, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kelli Phillips.
And I'm Bob Phillips. If you've traveled with us for very long, you probably know that there are certain types of stories that we love to tell. We love it when someone is still making something the old-fashioned way.
And we love multi-generational family-run businesses. We love time-honored traditions and people with a respect for the ones that came before them.
Well, this next story has a bit of all of that. And it's one we found while traveling through the great state of Kentucky.
So we're here in Louisville, Kentucky at Muth Candies on East Market Street. We have been on this street since our origin in 1921. I'm the fourth generation. The fifth generation has been born, but still too young to work as of now. But I'm the fourth generation. My mother previously ran the business before us. Before her, it was her parents, and then my great-grandmother, and then my great-great aunt and uncle, who didn't have children, and passed it on to her sister, and that's how it came down through that side of the family. My great-great aunt and uncle started the company in 1921.
We walked into Muth Candies on East Market Street in Louisville just in time to see a team of candy makers dipping the famous Majeskas into their special blend of caramel.
Matthew Voorhees runs this place these days, along with his sister Sarah. He quickly led us from the front of the store to a small corner in the back where the creations were being carefully created.
This place is huge.
Yes, it's narrow, but it's very long in terms of how big our building is. But yes, they are still dipping the Majeska right here.
What is this?
This is a marshmallow covered in caramel. This is actually what we are most known for making. It is a Louisville tradition. It used to be called the Louisville Caramel Biscuit over 150 years ago, renamed to the Majeska after the Polish actress Helena Majeska. But yes, this is a much more buttery caramel. This is a caramel known to the area, and we still dip it with forks. Throw the marshmallow in the caramel and pull it out with a fork.
Muth Candies is a landmark here in Louisville, the only place Matthew has ever called home. He says he has no plans to leave. You've heard the expression, happy as a kid in a candy store? Well, Matthew was one.
Born here in Louisville, Kentucky, born and raised. Definitely familiar with the area. Never moved out, went to college here as well. I would say a different childhood than most. I wouldn't say a typical childhood because most kids don't grow up in a candy store. We were the family that owned the candy store. We were the family with the office staff that would bring candy in, or that's the family that owns Muth Candies. And so
everybody wanted to be your friend.
It was definitely a perk. It didn't hurt that we had candy.
Matthew's earliest memories are of this family store. In those days, it was his mother who ran the place, but she slowly showed the ropes to Matthew and Sarah before handing them over for good.
My mom, to keep us busy, would say, go sweep the store, go wash the windows, maybe go restock this pan of candy, or help weigh up something with our scales. So definitely a lot smaller of tasks early on, and then as you grow, you do get more responsibility. I wanted to get a car when I was 16, so I started actually working here the summer I was 14. I was a sales clerk, and so I was just trying to save as much money as I could because I wanted independence, as all teenagers do. And And so I started in the front and packaging candy, selling candy to customers, and as time went on, worked my way further and further back in the building in the dipping room where I would mold a lot of the chocolate pieces, the rabbits, and any sort of derby pieces. We do themed candy all year round, so all the solid chocolate pieces. I was tasked with running the tank at one point. For 8 years, I actually was the head candy maker. The candy maker basically has to be a junior meteorologist in terms of getting everything just right, because candy can be very temperamental.
Is that the caramel over there?
This is where the Majeska does cook. This is our main cooker for all of our caramel pieces, between the turtle, the Majeska, all of our hand-wrapped and chocolate-dipped caramels all are cooked on this cooker.
Is this an old piece here?
Yes, this piece of machinery predates me for sure, and definitely probably a generation or two before that. We try to use as much of the older kettles, as much of the older cookers as possible.
I'm the sister to that one.
Okay.
Oh, you're Sarah. We found Matthew's sister Sarah in another part of the candy shop, working with several employees on a very intricate project that's very important here, especially during a certain time of year. You guys grew up doing
We
this.
did. What is our office was once a crib. Sorry. We used to have a crib where our office now is. We literally grew up here from infancy, so it's definitely, for us, it's kind of just ingrained in us and how we exist.
Sarah, you're not even thinking about this while you're doing it. It's so automatic for you.
It becomes second nature after so many years of doing the same thing.
A lot of years, huh?
Yes. Like I said, my mom, there's the next set tomorrow will be rabbits, and they get little flowers. And so as a kid, that was your job, was to place the little flowers on them. So you kind of start, we swept floors and washed windows and put flowers, and you kind of just, as you grow up, you got harder and harder jobs, and eventually you had to do them all.
Each rabbit, depending on the size, gets a colorful bow. Depending on how big they are, they get a sugar eye. So everything gets decorated by hand, either with piping bags or different utensils.
You have any idea how many of these little guys you'll sell during the Easter season?
Of this size alone, probably between all three chocolates, upwards of 500 or 600.
Just a tradition.
A lot of work.
So this is white chocolate, this is dark chocolate, and then we do milk as well. Milk is definitely our most popular in terms of the quantity sold. I think it does a lot better with children in terms of the flavor profile, but we make thousands of all of these, and sometimes we sell out, and we have to continue to make even all the way up until the week of Easter, the day before Easter. We're still sometimes making candies because we want to make sure that there's stuff on the shelf that everybody gets what they want. They don't. Some families may come in and they say, I always get this rabbit every Easter, I always get this. We will custom put names on it with the icing that they were using for the cream pieces. We will put names of children, grandchildren, whatever somebody likes on an animal, if it can fit, and try to personalize that memory and that piece of candy for each person.
For Matthew and Sarah, making and selling chocolate and all the other candy creations that come out of this little store isn't just a job, it's an honor. They are the ones who are now held responsible for protecting a family name that was established by their ancestors more than 100 years ago. A name that represents confectionery royalty here in Kentucky.
There are lots of ways they could cut corners and streamline the process of what they do. But to them, well, that would be cheating. Breaking a promise that was made to their customers 4 generations ago. A promise that is more important today than ever before. It's a promise they don't take lightly. This ain't Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory here. It's a lot more involved. You don't have things that go plum, plum, plum and spit this stuff out automatically.
No, we are the Oompa Loompas here. And so we create the candy, we do the day-to-day work, and we give it to the people. Your reputation and your name are synonymous with one another, and that was something that our mother ingrained in us from a young age, and to this day, even as adult children, she continues to stress as we run the day-to-day that we need to continue to take as much pride and as much care in our image and our product and how we treat our employees or our customers as the previous generations, because that's the only reason we got to this point, and that's the only reason we're going to continue to survive in a world that doesn't necessarily want small businesses to survive. I would say every time you walk in the door, every time you hear the door chime, every time you look at the old cases that we've been displaying candy in, that we actually got secondhand at the time, and so they're older than us, over a century old, some of the old machinery that we're using. You feel the through line to the past and to previous generations of candy makers, and it's definitely something to be proud of.
You feel a connection with those that came before you?
Definitely. It's one of these things that every candy maker trains the next, so while I may have been trained by the previous candy maker, he was trained from the one before him, and so in essence I was trained by the original candy makers, and that's just a great feeling.
We talked with the folks at Muth Candies a great deal more about what they do, why they do it, working with family, and advice for others that have or want to have small businesses.
But first we ask Matthew to clear up one very important thing: how to properly pronounce the name of the town where Muth Candies is located.
So we are here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville. That's the pronunciation, right? There is no S.
That's the pronunciation of a
there's an
Louisvillian.
S in the spelling.
It's silent.
It's silent.
This is Louisville. Am I doing it right?
Yes.
Louisville, Kentucky.
It's definitely a big small town or a small big town. It's definitely a perfect size in terms of you get all of that urban feel or that city vibe that you like from some places, but it's not too overwhelming or too hectic like in New York or in LA, where it's so big, it's so sprawling. It's definitely a small town, big town feel here. It's definitely a great town, I believe, a little biased, but a great town to raise a family in.
There's a lot that goes into this.
Definitely a lot, definitely complicated, more than people would think. They see things like I Love Lucy, or they see people having fun with chocolate, and they don't realize everything that goes behind some of the stress of getting a batch off or having something not burn, or like you said, the weather. So many things we do on certain cookers are based off temperature, so you have to pull it at the right temperature, the exact temperature, or else the candy can go bad. Or we have things like caramels that we still test with an old school method called water testing, where we actually have a stick that we put in cold water and then run that through the candy and then twist it, and then depending on how it falls off the stick, it depends on how well the batch is done, and then you put it back in the water, you get it to room temperature, and you keep testing it until the caramel is a right feel. And so you almost have to like feel when the candy's done, not just see or gauge. It's a lot different. It's definitely more a little bit science, a little bit just feel. I went to college. I thought I was going to do something else, and I had ventured outside of the store for a brief period, but it's almost like a calling. It just pulls you back in, and you feel that urge to continue the family tradition and to make a name for yourself and make a name for the family.
Tell us about that, because we don't all get to experience that, but you did grow up with a family name. You're candy and chocolate royalty in this area. What does that feel like?
It's definitely good feelings when you just mention the name, and people know the name before they know you. They may see you and you look like just a normal person on the street. You say that you're associated or affiliated with Muth Candies, or that your family runs the business, and they immediately come to you with I've been coming down there for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. My grandmother used to bring me down there, and so to hear those stories and to see people's faces, you swell up with pride a little bit. It's definitely a place that a lot of the people that work here are, as time goes on, less and less family and more family friends. Previously, in previous generations, it was a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents, but as time goes on and people either pass or decide to do other things, roles need to be filled by people that aren't necessarily in the family. But every person that we try to hire, we try to stress just how important that everything that they're doing not only reflects on them, but on us, on the business. And we've found a good staff that is enthusiastic about candy, that is enthusiastic about their own work, and I think also takes pride in what they do and continuing the tradition of working at a 100-plus-year-old business.
Do you still eat the candy?
I eat too much candy.
Seriously?
I probably have the largest sweet tooth out of anybody in the building. Yeah, I would say I eat my fair share of candy.
You still have all your teeth and everything, and you're not overweight. So how does that happen?
Luck, genetics.
I grew up in the candy business.
Or we could say that if you eat Muth candies as a part of your regular diet, that you'll maintain a great figure.
That's a better line.
We do have a large clientele here in the city, whether that be foot traffic in our neighborhood Nulu, which is a very popular district in terms of shopping, restaurants, bars, and event spaces. So we do get a good amount of foot traffic from that. People that just traditionally come down here, and it's been a family tradition. We have people that come in that are out-of-towners. We have a website that services everybody across the United States, and you wouldn't believe I could print off 10 orders today, and it could be Oregon, California, Texas. It could be all over the United States. We even have international shipping. We have a customer that reaches out via Facebook once a year or so from Australia, and we have to coordinate, because they're in a different season than us, we have to coordinate the weather with that and what she actually can receive, and so we actually ship across the world as well. And we also have our fair share of people that take it back. They say, hey, can you package this? I'm taking this back on a plane with me to wherever they're going. And so it's definitely something that I think people want to stop in and see us when they come back.
There's no factory.
No factory by hand. We still try to do as many things the old-fashioned way as we can.
Why is that important?
When you're running a family business and a small business, it's great to just have that detail and that personal touch. It's something that the customer is able to receive that they know is handled with love and care, and it's not just a machine or a factory making it, but it's actually a person behind the product. I think it definitely keeps it just true to how it is, true to how it always was. We definitely pride ourselves in, if somebody had candy here 20, 30 years ago and they taste it today, it's not going to be that we've changed it or the recipe has changed. Like, all those things are the same, and we try to just make sure the memories and the taste are the same as they've always been, and these things definitely help us keep that.
That's important in the candy business, isn't it? Because this is a memory thing. They come here because this is what I had as a kid.
And we definitely get that. That is something, as a fourth generation candy maker, fourth generation small business owner myself, it's definitely something to pride yourself on. It's something that you hear often, someone coming in and say, I used to bring my children here, or now I bring my grandchildren here, or my mother or father has passed away, but now we bring our children here. And that's definitely something that it's nice to hear. It's nice to feel and know that you're making memories and that you're a part of someone's Easter, someone's Christmas, someone's birthday, any sort of holiday. We definitely try to make memories, make people happy.
Being in the same family from a little boy, did you always know you were going to be in the candy business, or did you think, I want to go and do something completely different?
Yeah, as a kid growing up and then going to high school and college, you definitely think, I'm going to do something else. But I think it's something that pulls you back in. It's something that is special and unique. It's a story to tell. You don't just tell someone you're an accountant or you're a lawyer. Like, you say you're Muth Candies. You say that this is a family business, or that you're a third, fourth, fifth generation. And that means a lot. Small businesses are going a way of the past and all across America, and large corporations, foreign corporations, there are a lot of, I guess, larger entities that mass produce things for the consumer, and small businesses are definitely going away. So it's definitely something to be proud of and to work hard to maintain.
What's that one thing that everybody ought to know about running a small business that can make you or break you?
I would say get good at everything, because you wear a lot of hats. While I was the candy maker, and while Sarah is currently working on cream pieces, we could be doing interviews, we could be waiting on customers, we could be doing repairs. We've been in this building since 1962. We do some of our own repairs if possible, and you're constantly changing hats. And so get good at as many things as possible and be willing to put in the hard work yourself, and it'll pay off.
What does your mom think? I mean, she looks at you, she looks at Sarah, and she sees that y'all are carrying on the family business, the family traditions.
What's that mean to her?
I think it means a lot. I think you all had talked to me about what if the next generation doesn't want it, and that's something that she, I guess, doesn't have to worry about, and sees in real time that it's in good hands and that we love it as much as she does. And I think she's definitely proud of that and proud of the success that we've been able to continue based off the very very heavy and great baton that she handed us.
And we want to thank you for listening to On the Road with Kelli and Bob today. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget, we've also got a YouTube channel. You can see some of the behind the scenes when we're out on the road. And if you'd like to hear more of these podcasts, the best thing to do is download the free Audacy app. Listen anytime, anywhere.